All right, here we are. Impacting Influence Radio right here on Opera. And today's broadcast is brought to you by Blinds of Sacramento. Sacramento's complete solution window covering experts. Give them a call, 916-790-8689 or blindsofsacramento.com. Now today, I've got a lovely lady in here referred by our very own Teresa Reich and Ellie King. How are you?
I'm blessed. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And you come from my stomping grounds.
I sure do.
You're from the Monterey area. It's all
Yes,
right. We
sir.
got Monterey Car Week coming up.
It's super exciting, huh?
I know. I love it. I go every year. I've been going since I was, 20 or something. All right. So we're going to be learning about who you are and what you do. And the organization is ACTS Foundation, or Agape Community Transitional Services Foundation. What's Agape mean?
Agape stands for God's pure love. I am a believer.
Mm-hmm.
This was founded on my own life experiences, and then God's love really carried me through those transitional points.
Absolutely.
And
And
so we're just reflecting that.
Yeah, that's what we're here to talk about. All right. So who is Ellie King? Who are you, my dear?
Well, I'm really blessed. I was, as a young girl, if we're reflecting back, I feel like, God was forming me in the fire and just like forging the situation with me. I have had a lot of adversity. And if you have a paradigm perspective shift, it's a really neat thing. And I think that's what I encountered. So I am an observer. I am a believer. I am a person that makes a positive out of any negative. And rather than really sitting in what was, I kind of put, my trust in God and my trust in my faith, and wanted to find solutions for individuals that were displaced, individuals that were marginalized. And I had the great privilege of graduating at 15 years old and getting a full scholarship up to Sacramento, got a job at a nonprofit, and really quickly understood that was my world. That was my job. That was my passion, my experience. And so outside of a believer and being a wife and a mom, I am a dedicated community advocate for individuals that are marginalized, whether they are experiencing mental, behavioral, substance and recovery, human trafficking. I'm just here to help. I'm here to advocate. On the professional end of things, I am one to think as a community we have a larger impact together. And so my focus returning to Sacramento after not being here for 20 years is to break all kinds of silos, bring people together in organizations, whether they're a federal, government, local, just grassroots even, to come together as a coalition.
So are you working as a volunteer for all of this?
No, I am the president and founder of Agape Community Transitional Services. I do sit on a few other boards, and those are all completely voluntary. I really love having the trust of a community partner advocate of Little Saigon, Sacramento, Women of Color on the Move, Women's Wisdom Art Council, and Defena Foundation, all of those things.
Do you know Gigi Rayford?
I haven't met them, no.
You don't know Gigi Rayford? Okay.
No.
So she's our Citrus Heights Art Council. So we'll get you in contact with
I
her.
appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
She's
Thank
wonderful.
you so much.
Yeah, she's one of our members. Wonderful.
I appreciate that. I think, as a world, we can sit on all the negative things that everybody has a story, right? So we can sit on all those things that like create our foundation, or we can just shake things up and stand and push against all of that and just make something beautiful out of that. You hear all these cheesy things like make lemonade out of lemon, when life throws you lemons. Yeah. So I feel like I'm the poster child of that. And I'm just grateful. I think when you operate out of gratitude and out of your heart, and you just let God lead, you don't really sit on the why me? Why did I go through all this?
I never did the why me's. I never did that.
Same.
For people that know my story, I just put one foot in front of the other, and we could sit and bitch and moan and cry about it and look at everything, but like I was talking to you before we started, my why at this point is you guys. Like, how selfish of me to look in the mirror and say, okay, God gave me these wonderful talents. I can write books. I can build radio shows. I can produce movies. I can do a magazine. I can produce and write music. All these wonderful talents that are creatives that are designed to help inspire, motivate people. Yet I'm going to look in the mirror and I'm going to bitch and moan and cry about my stuff. No, it's all about you guys, because it's once we remove ourselves from the equation, then that's where, years ago somebody asked me, what makes you happy? I go, I don't know what that means. What do you mean you don't know what makes you happy? I don't know what happiness is. Mm-hmm. Well, what brings you joy? I don't know what that word means. Okay. And so they say, you have your girlfriend, you've been with your girlfriend for a long time. Does she make you happy? I go, oh, I think so. Do you love her? I think so. The point is that it's fine. The point is that when you grow up in a home that doesn't have any of those things, you don't have a gauge. There's no gauge for you to figure out what and how those things apply to your life. So you have to find direction and guidance through connecting and through the people that you surround yourself with. And that's assuming that's what you're dealing with at this point. What brings me joy is knowing that you guys are doing well. That's what makes me happy. You asked me about Teresa. What was the first thing I said?
She was an incredible person.
And is she okay? Because I
and
haven't
is
heard
she
from
okay?
her.
Yeah.
I don't care about the rest.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if we're not looking out for each other, then what the heck do we have? We have nothing.
Absolutely.
We have nothing. It has nothing to do with you. God did not give you talents to, produce beautiful and amazing things for you to take those with you. He brought those things to make this planet a little bit better and more beautiful when you leave this planet.
Absolutely.
That's it. So it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, and I agree, and that completely just moved my heart to a different level. And I think for me, a lot of folks are, when they do approach me, whether they're at church or they're, community members that know my story on a personal level, mm-hmm. or know my daughter's story on a personal level, and they can say things like, how do you still smile? How are you still serving? And I really genuinely believe, like you said, what we go through isn't for us, it's for somebody else.
It's not about you.
Yeah, and our testimony really,
it takes
developed
a while.
us.
But it takes a while to figure that out.
Yes.
Because what happens, what was for me was I had already done all the things that I wanted to do. I was the radio star, and I've done the rock star, and I had the movies and the books, and I lived in the high rise, and I had my car collection, and all the stuff that I wanted, yet I was suicidal thoughts. And people think that this is 30 years ago. This is like 2020, guys.
Yeah.
Still suicidal thoughts in 2020. And then I turn the news on and I see people in these foreign countries that have nothing. They live in huts and they're happy. And I go, how in the world are these people happy and they have nothing and I have everything and I'm miserable?
Yes.
And that was the deciding factor for me that, you know what? I'm going to become a minimalist. I'm not going to focus on the stuff anymore. I don't care. I don't care what brand this is or what I'm this or what I'm living for the better good of this community that we have now. And if God takes me out of this world today, if he says today's it, I'm not going to fight that.
Right. Because
why would I? Why would I fight that?
Right. And that really is something that is personal to me as well. I feel like, I'm not focused on what I have and what I don't have, what I've been through or what I'm about to go through. I think just having that willingness, that Isaiah, like, take me, use me. And I tell my friends all the time, like, he used a donkey in a burning bush. He literally could have used anybody, mm-hmm. but he used my story to do small things, right? And then gave me a platform to be able to, and this is way before like social media, right? He mm-hmm. gave me a story to share with somebody else in hopes that they would be enlightened and move forward. And like you, I've had it all and I've lost it all, and I've had it all and lost it all. And at the end of the day, for me, it's like the things don't matter. The name brands don't matter. Where I live doesn't matter. Where I am within myself, where I am within my community, where I am in my service piece, mm-hmm. Is most important. And I think that's one of the things that has allowed my daughter through her mental and behavioral health spaces as she navigates. She understands that her story is impacting someone. She understands that advocacy and self-advocacy and service are still important. And as much as she struggles throughout her day, I feel like
we all do.
yeah, those are things that
We all do. We all fought it. We all fought it.
100%.
You know, I was in my 30s riding Harleys around and saying, if I get killed on this thing today, well, then that was God's plan.
Yeah.
And he had a million opportunities to get me squished by something, and he didn't. And then just one day I just said, I don't want to ride the motorcycle anymore. It's not that I was afraid of, you know, whatever, but I just didn't want to ride it anymore. I was like, okay, I'm done with this part of my life. Okay, cool. On to the next.
Yeah, I think what's really interesting, though, after we've lived all these things and we've accomplished certain spaces, and then we have that epiphany, and it's like, oh, it wasn't for me to just sit and like be sorrowful or mournful. It's for me to make some kind of impact and have some ripple effect.
I think that I think God puts people in our lives for reasons. Every person that comes through life, through the cycle of life. And I'm not talking about God Jesus or God Buddha or God whatever. I'm talking about whatever the higher power is.
For you,
you can
yes.
believe what you want to believe,
Exactly.
but there's got to be something that's bringing these people to this planet. And the point is that, you know, I have a nephew that I bring him up frequently because he was stillborn. Yeah. And so, you know, he comes into this world and he was only here for a moment, okay? Just a brief moment. Yet we're still talking about him and we're sharing his story. And the family, you know, we cry every single time we think about him and the family and the whole thing. And the point is God brought this beautiful baby into this world, and this baby was full of love. And he was so full of love that it brought the entire family together, and it brought us in this conversation together and everyone listening together. And that was God's use of him. He's more influential and motivational than some people that live to be 50.
Right.
But he was here for a brief moment. And I think that is how God uses us. He gives us talents to make this space. And whether we're a creator, a procreator, whether we're an artist, whether we're just something, but every single one of us are here for a reason to make this place a little bit better.
Absolutely.
That's what I believe.
I agree.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't care.
That's okay. We can be wrong together.
No, seriously.
I agree.
No, but it's a beautiful thing.
It really is. I think, like you said, everybody has a story, right? And I think that's the common ground. We bleed the same. We have emotions where we all can relate to some hardship. And I think for me, like, since I serve in cross-cultural programming, like I said, I'm with Community Partner Advocate in Little Saigon, Sacramento too. And I'm the only Hispanic girl on there and very embraced. And I think the common thread there, you know, one of my colleagues was like, we all bleed the same. We all live in the same neighborhoods.
Yes,
we all want to serve and things like that. And so you're right. It just, if we can give some hope to humanity, if we can give some encouragement, and I think that's how nonprofits are born.
Look at what FIFA has brought to this world.
Exactly.
This is the closest damn thing we've seen to world peace in 100 years.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Through sports.
And
that's how we bring people together.
It's amazing. Community.
Free efforts.
And, you know, you bring these people in. They came into Boston and they completely drank Boston dry.
Completely dry.
Like, seriously, right? You know, and here we are in California and we're talking about that, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's huge. That's huge. And so let's get back into what you're doing. So, you know, you're bringing community together through communities.
Yes.
And you're bringing organizations together to help and inspire and motivate and give people resources and power.
Correct. And so, like I said earlier, I am the founder and CEO of ACTS Foundation. But through, for example, Community Partner Advocate of Little Saigon, Sacramento, we use a lot of cross-cultural events that are free to the public, and we introduce the Vietnamese historical points of life. I grew up in Little Saigon, Sacramento, so it's kind of where that, when I got shipped off to school, my grandfather was already up here, and he was all about loving on people of all colors, and he would put food out.
Oh, have you seen the magazine?
Yeah.
Have you seen how diverse the magazine
Yes.
is? We've got
I
Rainbow
love it.
Chamber in there. We've got everybody in
Yes.
there. And you can't say that I've picked up the phone and have been looking for different. That is purely organic, and that
Yeah,
is
it's beautiful.
incredible.
It's
incredible. And you got a Hispanic guy, you've got black, and then you've got this German guy. And I'm just thinking to
Yes.
myself, like, and this is just in the last 3 months, and it's purely
It's
organic.
beautiful.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's definitely
You
beautiful.
you can't fake that. It's just people connecting people. That's all it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. Why are you so passionate? I mean, obviously, I know why you're so passionate about this. We're already here, but why are you so passionate about what you're doing here?
For me, it really is bringing life back into Little Saigon. It's bringing advocacy pieces to women of color and representing that. It's about uniting all the community organizations. I'm really passionate about these things because a lot of my lived experience being displaced as a younger girl, I saw a lot of gaps in services, and I saw really the gaps weren't always because the resources weren't there. It was because the resources didn't work together, right? And so being in Chinatown in Salinas, there was organizations that came through up and down Soledad Street.
Man, you're speaking my language. It's so funny. You're saying Salinas. I'm like, I remember when I got stitches in Salinas.
Híjole.
At the Kaiser there.
Yeah,
And I spent many times in that dang emergency room.
I was born there.
Were you really?
At Memorial off of Romy Lane. That's where I was
Romy Lane.
born.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know life, was going to take me into Chinatown. I didn't know life was
All
going
my
to take
skateboarding
me.
accidents.
I'm telling you, we have that in common too. And so, yeah, like, being able to advocate before I knew what advocacy was and translate, not just for my parents in the home, but then out on the streets, living in the streets. I found that I had a gifting for that. Yeah. And then I always used to say to the residents there, one day I'm going to come back and I'm going to open up a service. And the Lord allowed that for me. I actually, through another nonprofit and through COVID, we popped something open.
Go onto the website.
Yeah.
And pull up my early radio shows from 2015. We used to charge $500 to come on the show.
Oh my gosh.
Because we were on the radio and we had to pay for the radio time, right? At the FM station. And so if you go back to 2015 and 2016, 2017, 2018, you always hear me say the moment that I don't have to charge to do this anymore, we're not going to charge. And here we are all these years later.
So
we're
excited.
not charging.
So grateful.
No, seriously. Yeah.
Yes.
This is the way it is. It's
So
just community.
thankful.
That's all it is. I spend my whole day. I've been doing this since 10:30 this morning. I've been recording free radio shows. If we make money, we make money. If we don't, we don't.
Yes.
That's fine.
I appreciate you so much, really. I think that, like you said, community helps, and your space that you created, the gifts that you were given, allow people like me to be able to share that desperate need. We still have marginalized people. We still have people that don't have educational needs. So for me,
This lovely lady here, that's
Yes,
Portia Middleton. Do you know Portia?
I don't know her personally, but I
But
know,
you know
of
who?
her. Yes.
And so we can make that introduction.
Thank you.
We're building all of her back end, but she owns care homes.
Yes.
And so we built all of her back end, all her website and all that stuff. So the point is that making that introduction through our network, now you can start getting into some of the resources that the city and the county have.
I would really appreciate that. My intention is to be able to bring more housing availability, more sober living facilities. I think what I've seen a desperate need for right now is high acuity levels of care in the mental and behavioral health space are not really met. And I mean that by professional, not just professional, but personal experience. My daughter really struggles with the in-between spaces. And I'm like, man, if we had properly trained people in spaces, and not necessarily funding, because the funding is there.
Can I ask a crazy question?
Go for
This
it.
might be crazy. This might be completely crazy, and I might be
I'm
off
ready
my
for it.
rocker. Does she have a dog?
She has 2 service dogs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because dog was what saved me. I'm dead serious.
I believe you.
No, I was driving up, this is about 2019 or 2020, and I'm driving with my wife up Auburn Folsom, and I just said, I got to get a dog. And she goes, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. My head is not good, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm literally picturing myself and how I'm going to do this.
Yes.
And yeah, the dog is, I have something to wake up to every day.
Yeah, I feel like our dogs, even before training, they were just really instinctual and connected to her. If she's having a bad day or she's about to have an episode, our dog will lunge and just love on her and coddle her and just bring her back to
There's a
level.
video. It's like a little stick figure thing of this person that walks into a room, and the person is all red, right? So like all filled with anger and blah 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 blah. And so, in fact, I think it actually started with them leaving the house. They were all blue, and then they were in traffic getting to work, and they had a little bit of red, and then they get to work and they have more red, and throughout their day they have more red. And then when they walk back in the door, they're all red again, completely red. And then the dog walks up, the little blue dog walks up, and then the little blue dog starts to lick, and then the red starts to fill up with blue, and now they're blue again. And then for the next day, Yeah. So, let's start to wrap her up here. What are you looking for? Why are you here? Why are you here?
Why am I here? I am looking for support to build up and establish the organization here. We were established in Merced County. I worked with San Benito County, Santa Cruz County, Monterey County, of course. But I want to be able to just essentially reintroduce myself, come back into Sacramento, reconnect, because I think, like you said, organically the funding will come, the connections will come, and I think this is the beginning. And so I'm just very grateful
thinking of a
for
lot
you.
of people I can introduce you to within our group. Yeah.
And so a lot of our work as nonprofit, it's not really heavily funded, but that's not, I mean, I can speak for self. Like, so it's not about the money. It's about being able to change a life, to bring hope and to raise somebody. And I think the beauty for me, the catalyst is when people say, man, you don't know about my life. You've never seen it. You've never been through it, And so
That's why I don't see a therapist.
Yeah, for real. Me too.
Why would I go see a therapist and he's going to tell me what he learned in textbook and I'm going to say, okay.
Claro.
What about how would you explain when your brother rapes your sister and you have to be the one that is the whistleblower and you put your own brother in prison for 12 years and you're sitting in court and you're saying throw the book at him, but then you're saying just don't throw him so hard.
Just too hard, right?
You know what I'm saying? And then
100%.
And then dipshit is sitting there arguing with the judge. And I'm like, just shut up, dude. Like, come on, you're already in trouble. Just come on, man.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
just
heavy
serious. And you're sitting there, and your mom is crying, and then your sister is the victim, and she's sitting there, and it's like, come on, dude. Like, I didn't ask for any of this, but I have to do that. And then now I have to go to prison, and I have to visit my brother and sit there and ask how he's doing, and then watching him get attacked and all this stuff, and just.
It's vicious, yeah.
It's a horrible thing, and then you're living with that stuff, and then I'm going to sit there and explain that to some therapist.
He doesn't understand.
He has no clue.
Yeah, I think and it's not every therapist, but I totally get that. That was my thought too, and so I think just the service has helped heal me, the connection, because I had sexual abuse and terrible abuse as a child that. When I was displaced as a teen, I was like,
That's
there's
why
no
you're working
possible.
with the human trafficking.
I was like, there's no way anything can get worse. Of course it did.
I've worked with three human trafficking charities over the years, and all three of them have been worse than the accusers.
100%. And people think
they're terrible.
Yeah, people think man, your abuse must have been forever ago. Like, no, my most recent was in 24.
Yeah, no. What's crazy actually is one of the organizations that we were working with was he was a local sheriff.
Oh wow.
And who owned the organization, and he ended up getting fired from the police force for something I don't remember, and then was indicted and arrested for embezzlement, stealing the money from the children's charity.
That's terrible.
And I'm just thinking to myself, like, you can't even trust the people that you're fighting for.
Yeah.
It's
awful.
Crazy.
So you asked what I'm looking for. Just sharing that common understanding that nonprofits don't run by just pure funding. Really, we need hands and feet and willing people to serve. And that's where we hurt.
And voice and back power.
We need a lot of volunteers. Right now, I'm working with Defendant Foundation to put together a fashion show on August 14th. So we need a ton of volunteers. With Community Partner Advocate of Little Saigon. Like I said earlier, I'm trying to connect and lead by example, connecting with other organizations, sitting on their boards and participating with Community Partner of Little Saigon, Sacramento. We are working on getting our sponsorship and our participation of volunteers for different events throughout the year because there's only a board of like 8. And we can't do it alone, right?
No. And so let's put our heads together. Let's get you in contact with some of these people. I've got other charities that we work with that are members of ours. Gracias. We're going to ask you guys to become a member.
I would appreciate that.
It's going to cost you a couple of bucks.
Oh, hey.
But we'll figure out everything.
Putting it forth so somebody else can have a voice.
Well, the whole point is we want to make sure that we're putting the right people in place and supporting the right people. If we gave everything away for free, then we would just have a revolving door of people that are kicking tires instead of actually producing value to everybody.
Yes.
So apart from that, Ellie King, ACTS Foundation, 209-737-0588, 209-737-0588, thenonprofitgirl.com. Anything you want to add before we get out of here?
I'm just really grateful for you, John. Thank you for sharing your story and creating a space for us to come on and to be able to impact and influence the world together.
That's what we're doing. That's all it is. You know how we came up with the name Impact and Influence?
No, I am interested.
ChatGPT.
For real? Yes. You know what's funny? Because when I came across your stuff, so I was sitting down and got like this download, and because people always ask you like, oh, what's your motto or your mantra or whatever, and I was like, kingdom influence, real world impact, right? Because I love Jesus, I love God, I have a higher power that carried me through this mess, but I want to have a world impact, if it's just one person. And then I found you. It's like
well, we went
Google
to ChatGPT. Yeah, we went to ChatGPT, and it said we're looking at doing this magazine. Give me 10 titles. And it gave me 10 titles. And I was like, nah, I don't like this. Give me 10 more. Give me 10 more. And I was like, nah, I don't like this. Give me 10 more. And then that was like number 6 or number 8 of the third set of 10. And then it came time to do the trademark. And we were already like 3 or 4 issues in. And we file everything with the USPTO. And they come back like 4 or 5 months later. So now we're like 10 issues in. And they're like, yeah, this is not trademarkable. And I'm like, oh God, no. Man. I'm like, how, why? And they said, well, they're too common of words and there's way too many other marks that have impact and influence in them. And I'm like, dang. So what do we do? And they said, well, you have 2 options. You can change the name of the magazine. So we considered that, or you can wait it out and just see what happens and see if the other people drop their marks. And it was like 4 or 5 months later, I get an email and everyone else dropped their marks. And it opened the door for us, and we got our trademark.
It was meant to be.
It's just, I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
ChatGPT gave me I told ChatGPT, I think like a couple days ago, I'm trying to rebrand. What do I call myself? Because I don't just fit a niche. I am a human that loves things. And so it said, based on what, whatever, you're the nonprofit girl. I was like, yeah, that's pretty catchy.
I like it.
Like, I dig it. Yeah, done.
Yeah. And you could trademark that and nobody could ever use that again.
I'm super excited.
Seriously, there's like 6 billion, 5 billion women in the world, and you could be the one nonprofit.
I'm going to have to pick your brain.
Cool, right?
Yes, thank you.
All right. 209-737-0588. Hey, Ellie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
And we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.